welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thought finds depth, and every conversation explores beyond our thinking, beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. He's a COO and strategic partner at TD Pine Advisors, operations and business development and value strategy advisor, no other than Mr. Brandon Moon.
Excellent. Thank you for having me, Daniel.
Welcome, Mr. Brandon. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
A little bit about me. I have two beautiful baby girls. Live in Dallas, Texas. I love businesses and working with businesses. Engineering background with an MBA, and ran a family business for about 10 years. And I cut my teeth on bootstrapping the growth of that business, and then ultimately saw what happens when you don't plan for, life succession, all of those things. And so started the consulting business to help business owners plan for those inevitable life events.
Mr. Brandon, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you. And today let's talk about from chaos to clarity, how to make your business worth more and more. So tell us the aha moment. What is the most common catalyst that make a business owner realize the company is in chaos and that is chaos is directly costing them money and value?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing that's costing business owners money is owner dependency. And that's one thing that we coach business owners on is sometimes business owners wear the badge of that they do everything, right? That they are every aspect of the business, and they know every aspect of the business, and that's fantastic. But you have a job, you don't have an asset. And so until you can relinquish the control and hand off those responsibilities to somebody else, really nobody's going to come in and provide a transition for you. And really, it's not just selling your business. It's also if you're going to succeed this to kids, right? If you're going to transition to your kids, but if your kids have seen you working 80-hour work weeks and a lot of times they don't want that life. And so a lot of times I see, business owners that say, I'm going to, my kids are going to be my successors. And then all of a sudden, fast forward 5 years and the kids want nothing to do with the business. And so value isn't just a number. It's also, how willing somebody is going to be to step into your shoes.
Mr. Brandon, we often equate value with profit. But in your framework, what are
Mhm.
one or two non financial factors that surprisingly have the biggest impact on a company's worth?
Yeah, so owner dependency is absolutely number one. Is a business owner able to take a 2-month vacation, a 3-month vacation, and not only does the business survive, but it also thrives. It continues to grow. That's always a litmus test that we encourage our clients to do. And then also, it not only is owner dependency, but just systems and empowering the management team. Is the management team able to do what it needs to do on a day-to-day basis? And are there systems in place? Because ultimately, if a buyer comes in, let's say it's a third party or private equity or whatever it is, they want to de-risk their investment. And so you're de-risking it by making sure that it can run efficiently and it can operate without having all the tribal knowledge that's in the head of somebody. That what happens if they and documentation, that's always a big plus for adding value, because it shows that you're a sophisticated business owner. And when you get into a market where you're selling your business, it helps elevate your business.
Mr. Brandon, many owners feel they are business, or many of them have this something in their mind that they cannot make it. How do you convince them that path to more valuable company often requires making themselves less essential on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back to the de-risking conversation, right? Imagine if you had unlimited money, would you buy your own business? Would you say, okay, this business is worth investing in? And when you start putting yourselves in that buyer's seat, then you start looking at your business differently, right? And then um, it's starting to get into the mindset that you're going to be convincing somebody to invest in your business when they have an unlimited amount of other opportunities. So why would they invest in yours, right? And so you have to start looking at your business that when an investor comes in, you're going to leave. And if the business is wholly dependent on you and you leave, then what's the business worth? And so you have to transition into that mindset whenever you are thinking about what the transition looks like and what the business looks like after you.
How do you define clarity in a business context, and why is it such powerful driver of evaluation from a potential buyer's or investor's perspective?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we look at clarity as a proactive business. And there's a lot of businesses that are reactive, right? They're fighting the fires as they come. They're inefficient. The bottom line is usually very you're looking at 5 maybe 10% margins. When you get into a clear or clarity within your business, that means you're proactive and you know the fires before they come up and you're addressing them before they become a problem. And when you get into that space, your value starts to go up significantly because you can start painting that picture of why an investor should go to your business as opposed to all those other options like we talked about. So clarity is really
Hello, this.
about the
Mr. Brandon, I think you're disconnected. So, people, while we're waiting for Mr. Brandon, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is. Mr. Brandon, are you okay? I think Mr. Brandon is being disconnected right now, people. So, while waiting for him, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season. My abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101. Love Letters in third season. A Movie 101 Review, Music 101 in fourth season. And Science 101 and Sex 101 in its second season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So while we're waiting for Mr. Brandon, again, I'm inviting you to please do listen to one of my audiobooks, people. My audiobooks, because available on Audible indeed. And please do listen to my Stand tall, stand together, breaking the chains of bullying. Book One Review Volume 3, Book One Review Volume 2, and my climate change book, Unraveling Climate and Our Race to Restore Balance, and Book One Review Volume 1, highly recommended. Thread of Existence or Threads of Existence, Waving the Tapestry of Life, and Life is Too Short, a journey of discovery and fulfillment. Fulfillment of joy or fulfillment and joy. So please do listen to them, available on Audible or where audiobooks are sold. So, people, I think Mr. Brandon is coming back. And hello, Mr. Brandon. So, my next question is, if a business owner could only systematize one part of their operation to immediately increase value, what would you recommend and why?
Um, I would say that if they can only systematize one thing, it would be the thing that is the most complicated part of their business. Um, if you can demystify that or reduce the complexity, uh, to, to at least that's going to have the greatest impact to improving the efficiency of your business. And so, you have to look at there's no one size fits all. And so you have to kind of look at your business to say, what's the most complicated thing and what takes the longest? And how can you reduce that time and increase the efficiency?
Buyers pay for certainty, Mr. Brandon. What are the key strategies for de-risking a business in the eyes of an acquirer, making it appear a safe and predictable bet?
Yes, absolutely. So when you go through, and that's the thing, there's a big difference between running a business and selling a business. There's a significant difference. And so that's where advisors come in, is they help, while you're running your business, because during the whole sell process, which could take between 6 months and 18 months, you can't let any of your profitability, performance, any of that suffer. And so you need to be full throttle growing your business even during the transaction phase. And so, you have to create that world so that an investor sees growth potential even after you. And so to de-risk the business, you have to think of all of the different things that can happen. And so during that transaction phase, an advisor will start to ask for pre-due diligence, where they're asking for 215 different documents and everything within your business. And that's where the investor is going to be looking at to find any kind of risk within that business. Let's say you don't have an operating agreement, but there's 5 partners. That's a big risk, right? Are we all on the same page? Is the business structured the right way? What happens when something happens? When unforeseen challenges happen, right? And so a business or a investor is looking at all of the different ways that a investment can go awry. And so it's really important to get into that lens and put yourself in that buyer shoes and start thinking about, your business better than anybody. So where is the risk lie, and how do you mitigate that risk before taking it to market?
Beyond the raw profit number, Mr. Brandon, what does a high quality earnings report look like, and how can Honor start building the narrative today?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I would say, before even thinking about that, there's so many business owners that have their personal finances and their business finances like commingled. That's one of the biggest things that needs to be. And I've heard, I've seen this in extremely large businesses, in the 100 million, where they're still a single owner, where they've intertwined their finances, and you have to decouple your personal assets and your business assets, and clean up your financials, and work with your CPA and your financial advisors to create that, not only the historical numbers where the business has been, but also start forecasting. And a lot of times business owners aren't doing budgets and what a actual proper forecast looks like. And so this goes back to being a sophisticated seller. You have to run your business a certain way, and that's one of the reasons why we say that a journey like this could take 3 years, because a lot of times, if the margins are only about, say 5% or so, if you can create efficiencies within your business and grow that to, say, 20% or 25%, you're in a completely different market for selling your business. But buyers want to see a history of that, not just a one-time hit. And so, that might be a 3-year journey, and then paint the story that this is how this will continue even after me.
Interesting, Mr. Brandon. And how can owner quickly diagnose whether their business model is truly scalable or is just a job they own?
Yeah, that I think that's goes back to what we were talking about. Can they literally take a 2-month vacation, right? Can you walk away, and your all of your employees, all of your systems will continue to operate without you? And if the answer is no, it doesn't mean it's a problem. It just needs to be addressed. And so you focus on it, and you create that infrastructure, so that you can step away. And once that happens, your market changes. And I've seen this not only in like the broker space or the investment banking space. So it doesn't matter the size of the business. If there's owner dependency, it's going to be the biggest hurdle that an owner is going to have to overcome. And like I said, it goes back to, it's your baby, right? It's for a lot of business owners, that's what they've been spending, a vast majority of their working life building. And so there's that connection and the emotional connection. But you have a job, and if an investor can't see the business without you in it, then they're not going to invest in that business.
Definitely. And Mr. Brandon, for a small, medium sized business, what does a building valuable intellectual property actually look like beyond just a patent?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and you really should have an IP attorney that you're working with, because it could be, your brand and your not only your patents, but also your copyrights, and how protected your process is, or if it's actually, if you have the ability to protect it, your book of business, all of these are assets that you need to protect. And so you need to, treat them with the utmost protection, just like you would any other, patent or idea.
Indeed. So, Mr. Brandon, we before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do check my audiobooks, people. They are available on Audible because my Stand Tall Stand Together, Breaking the Chains of Bullying is one of the best sellers. Book 101 Review Volume 3, Book 101 Book 101 Review Volume 2 selected, Earth Fever, The Unraveling Climate and Our Race to Restore Balance, and Book 101 Review Volume 1 highly recommended, A Thread of Existence, Weaving the Tapestry of Life, and Life is Too Short, A Journey of Discovery and Fulfillment and Joy. So, Mr. Brandon, tell us, what is, or even for a owner not planning to sell, why is building a valuable, clear, and systematized business a better way to live and work?
Yeah, that is a great question. And a lot of times when we position ourselves as exit advisors, you know, immediately a business owner will go, well, I'm not interested in selling my business. And that's fantastic. You don't have to be interested in selling your business. But 100% of business owners will exit their business someday. And what typically happens is a business owner will, be in the day-to-day grind. They're fighting the fires. They're doing all the things within their business, and then they get to a point where I can't do this anymore. And then they decide, it's time. I'm going to sell my business. But you don't have a business; you have a job, and so that's absolutely something that needs to be addressed way before you get to that burnout phase.
Definitely. So, Mr. Brandon, can you explain more about the phrase on your website? Does your business value provide options?
Yeah, absolutely. So we position ourselves as providing optionality to business owner. And so it doesn't matter whether you're going to sell your business or you're going to prepare your business for your kids, or you're going to have your management team buy your business, or you're going to do ESOP, or there's so many different options that a business owner can have. But you have to create those options. You have to create the business that allows you to have those options. And business owner where they're doing everything, you don't have options. I bought two businesses that were fire sales, not because I was trying to take advantage of the situation, because the business owner had no other option. Nobody else was willing to buy their assets, and we paid pennies. And it shouldn't be like that. You should have the if this is going to be your retirement, you set up your business as a retirement, and so that means that it continues to function without you.
Definitely. So, Mr. Brandon, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please
Thank
invite our
you.
listeners to support your business, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So the website that you're on right now, tdpineadvisors.com, we have some assessments that will allow a business owner to start, answering some of those tough questions that a lot of times they haven't looked at. It's a great place to kind of gauge where you are in the exit readiness journey, or in just building the value of your business. And then, LinkedIn is a great place to follow us. We're very active on LinkedIn, TD Pine Advisors.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Brandon Moon, because if you support him for sure, more and more advocacy to come, more and more empowering business to come. So, Mr. Brandon, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
More to come, people. See you soon.